God of Slaughter, Chapter 798. The 5 pieces of undying wood had joined and created a strange star map. Shi Yan schemed through it and found a small dot that looked like the mark of the treasure on a treasure map. As he had been with Ziyi Yao for a while in the glorious amethyst star, Shi Yan had a general knowledge of the raging flame star area's layout. At first glance, he knew that the marked spot was near the border of the land of God punishment and the 9-star chamber of commerce. It was the most magical area of the land where people could hide from the soul consciousness searching. Besides the lonesome dead territory, the land of God punishment had some more special areas similar to the lonesome dead territory. The location on the map was such a similar spot. However, he hadn't had enough time to study carefully because Feng Rao, Ganji, and Peng Jia stormed towards him, trying to snatch the star map in his hand. While snorting, Shi Yan immediately put the star map into his fantasy sky ring. Seeing the palace collapsing and the barriers disappearing, he made up his mind quickly to use the star power. His soul consciousness cooperated with space power, urging all of his energy. Just like a flow of shooting light, Shi Yan rocketed into the sky of the extreme purgatory field. The barrier shattered. All the energy sealing the extreme purgatory field disappeared. There was nothing constraining them now. A flow of light shot directly up into the sky. Shortly, it disappeared from the gray cloud layer of the purgatory star, heading towards the immense star area. Beneath him were Feng Rao, Ganji, and Peng Jia chasing close after. A flame burned angrily in their eyes. They all escaped the extreme purgatory field, entering the dead, quiet outer space. Those 3 people had dreamed of the star map for a long time. They had invested a lot of time and effort. At the very last moment, Shi Yan had interfered and taken what should have been theirs. They could hardly accept this. Although they all had the 3rd sky of King God realm cultivation base, Shi Yan's star power was magical. He was moving forward in the trajectories of the stars, making curve after curve in outer space. At the same time, he urged space energy to cross spaces in a short time. Feng Rao, Ganji, and Peng Jia couldn't get to him immediately. They could only stare as his figure disappeared further and further. Rage surged in their hearts. While the 4 silhouettes flew away from the extreme purgatory field, the guard of this special prison staying on the other side of the star spotted them and the commotion they were stirring. Shortly, the jailer spread his order. War chariots flew out one by one, entering dark outer space. The extreme purgatory field was a magical area of the dark firmament divine nation. It was the training place for the new generation of experts. And now it suddenly had a commotion that made the jailer freak out. He hastened to report Du Tianle on the event. The war chariots of the extreme purgatory field turned in the sky before moving into outer space. Experts guarding the planet came to the extreme purgatory field. Seeing the earth shaking and mountain collapsing in that area, their faces darkened. They knew something really troublesome had just happened and it was out of their ability to control it. When Du Tianle got the news, he was frightened and indignant at the same time. He came there at his max speed and reported what happened to the owner of the dark firmament divine nation, Du Tianji. Unfortunately, Du Tianji seemed to seclude and cultivate. Du Tianli's report sank like a rock into the sea. He received no response. This made Du Tianle more anxious. He constantly ordered the jailer to pursue and capture the escapees. It was very dark and cold in outer space. Shi Yan squinted while his soul altar was spinning, urging the Star Power Upanishad and Space Power Upanishad to continue its powers at the same time. Waves of space energy were rippling through his body. They seemed to be the doors that connected space to space shortly. His figure pierced through waves like a meteor. He was moving so fast that Feng Rao, Ganji, and Peng Jia could only sense him vaguely. It was going to be very difficult to catch him. F***ck it. We were all wrong. We've been watching that area for a long time and finally, we let that kid take it all. Ganji cursed, his face dark and grimaced. If I catch that brat, I will skin him alive and draw his bones out. Peng Jia looked ferocious, talking through his gritted teeth. Feng Rao stayed quiet. She was gloomy as resentment filled her heart. She had thought that she had used Shi Yan well. However, everything went the opposite of what she planned and it was now out of her reach. She couldn't imagine why Shi Yan at his first sky of King God realm could escape with such speed in the Star Sea. He was so fast that they could only keep up in sensing him. They could never come closer. He has only the first sky of King God realm cultivation base. His energy should be limited. Since he is running madly like that, he will drain his energy fast, Ganji said after contemplating for a while with a malicious look. Just let him be content flying for a while. I don't think he can drop us in the end. Wait until his energy is drained considerably. Then, we will be able to catch him. True. The first sky of King God realm has a limited endurance. He can't keep using his energy for a long time, Peng Jia nodded. As long as we know the direction he is going, I think we can capture him. Be careful. When we flew out of the Purgatory Star, I saw the war chariots flying out. Seems like the jailer of the extreme purgatory field reported the situation and sent someone up here. Feng Rao wasn't as confident as they were. Those who belong to the dark firmament divine nation aren't easy to deal with. We shouldn't let them spot us. Afterward, Ganji and Peng Jia held solemn faces. They all knew how intimidating the experts of the dark firmament divine nation were. The three of them immediately concealed their auras and retrieved part of their living energy fluctuations. They squeezed their jade tokens to stimulate the magical energy in it. Those jade tokens weren't only effective in the extreme purgatory field. After they left the place, they could still prevent the sensing ability of the warriors. After they had released the energy in their jade tokens, their auras and life energy faded away. They became invisible in the galaxy. Warriors standing in the Purgatory Star's war chariots couldn't sense anything using their soul consciousness. Begrudgingly, the war chariots scattered and started to search on a larger scale. Thus, their formation was stretched. Although the war chariots used the energy of divine crystals, they couldn't be faster than the third sky of King God realm experts when they used the surging energy in their bodies. Gradually, those war chariots were left far behind Peng Jia, Ganji, and Feng Rao. Shi Yan, of course, understood that Feng Rao, Ganji, and Peng Jia weren't easy to mess with. He didn't dare pause using the powers of his Star and Space Upanishad created in his soul altar. His flying was now like a light arrow. As he flew at max speed, he couldn't check his location on the map. He just knew vaguely that he was heading toward the land of God punishment and the 9-star chamber of commerce. This star map should have been created by the former imperial master of the dark firmament divine nation a long time ago. The marked location should contain an earth-shattering secret. Otherwise, Feng Rao's group wouldn't have spent several hundred years hiding just to take this map. They sure wanted to get the secret of this map. He didn't know what the secret was or its significance, but if this thing had fallen into his hands, he wouldn't hand it out easily. This was especially true for Ganji, Peng Jie, and Feng Rao. None of them had good intentions towards him. Feng Rao had used him to deal with Han Dis so she could have a free hand to grab the star map. Shi Yan wasn't a nice man. Since he was used and now he knew he had a big secret in that star map. Why would he not take it anyway? Shi Yan didn't really bother with the dead pursued by the 3 experts at the 3rd sky of King God realm. He didn't think that they could take his life easily. Staying in that forbidden land and breaking layer after layer of barriers, the understanding of natural powers and his powers Upanishad was carved deeper into his mind. Shi Yan believed that if he was given time to comprehend those principles and had abundant energy, breaking to the new level, the 2nd sky of King God realm, wouldn't be such a tough task. He had this confidence. He was confident that when he reached the 2nd sky of King God realm, even if Ganji, Feng Rao, and Peng Jie joined hands to fight him, they wouldn't be able to catch him. Since he was confident, he wasn't afraid of them anymore. He sneered and accelerated. The essence G from Handi's corpse was collected and refined in his acupuncture points. Gradually, energy started to gush out. Shi Yan cracked a smile, guiding those beams of mysterious energy in his body. He was moving even faster. If it was in the past, when the mysterious martial spirit was refining the essence G from the dead, Shi Yan couldn't be distracted because he would risk negative feelings backfiring on him. However, after the period of breaking barriers, his soul became steady. Thus, the negative feelings didn't affect him much. His mind was still calm and sound. With the supplemental energy, his essence G was refilled the 2nd time. His moving speed wasn't reduced by energy shortage. Feng Rao, Ganji, and Peng Jie were trying their best to find him in the galaxy. Half a month had passed quietly. Although they were full of confidence, the 3 were now exhausted. They thought that since Shi Yan had only the 1st sky of King God realm cultivation base, he would slow down early from loss of endurance. They were all wrong. After half a month, they had consumed half of their energy. They had to slow down. Shi Yan's speed didn't change. It actually increased significantly. The other 3 were exhausted. Their face grimaced even more. Does that mother of Asterisker have only the 1st sky of King God realm cultivation base? Were we all wrong? Ganji panted, talking foul-mouthed. This was the sign that they used energy excessively. Peng Jie gritted his teeth, his eyes like that of an angry ghost. He breathed heavily. If I can catch him, I will torture him to death. This brat is tough enough. Seems we got tricked. We thought he couldn't be a threat and turns out he the one who got it all. Feng Rao regretted it too much. She wanted to kill herself. At this moment, the 3 of them didn't dare to look down on Shi Yan anymore. Being able to move in outer space 15 days continually at fast speed and his energy wasn't running out yet, who has ever met such a first sky of King God Realm warrior? They cursed as their hearts sank. They now didn't consider Shi Yan a small character anymore. They were vigilant discreetly. They thought that when they saw Shi Yan, they had to pull themselves all together, and they shouldn't be careless leading to capsize their boats. Ah! Feng Rao suddenly shouted in awe. That brat isn't good now. His speed has slowed down 2 times. Fast. Faster. We must get him. Ganji and Peng Jia put on the excited visage.